Action. Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right. So this is my friend Thea from the account that a lot of people are talking about right now on Instagram. Your moms are watching. She tells all of her amazing stories from working on Seinfeld back in the day and being Julia Roberts' assistant and a million different relationship connections to Hollywood and great tea, right?
I'm going to repeat the person who worked for Kathy Hilton, who DM'd me on Saturday night by saying to you, I was not Julia Roberts' assistant, which is what she told me. I'm not Kathy Hilton's assistant. She's trying to infer like she has a bigger role working for Kathy. And I'll say the same to you. And mine happens to be true. I was not Julia Roberts' assistant. I was her story editor.
Right. Okay. Got it. So I think we use assistant just to be
I
vague
know,
on
I know.
purpose.
I thought it was funny that she made that distinction to me. I'm like, are we really arguing about this right now? That's the news.
And you did development with Julia Roberts too,
Right.
right? You did her in her production office in New
Right.
York. So yeah, that's so awesome. Well, we just did a quick hype, you guys. We just did a 2-part episode, one last Sunday and one this Sunday. Turns out I know Thea's brother from LA.
He
And
remembers
we used to
you.
party together.
He remembers you. I told you, I asked him. He said, yep, absolutely knows who you
Yeah,
are.
I knew the minute you said Lycan Piken, you know, like your brother knew it. Hi, I love you. I love you. Good to see you. Okay, sorry. What can I tell you? There's so much to unpack here. Let's just talk about what went down first before we get into this. My goal in this, the way I'd like to take this live is I want to start with the scandal that I believe started this Patrick Somr disaster. And then I want to move into Patrick Somr, and then I want to get into the impact on the MTV Awards.
Okay.
And what gossip, because everybody's wondering what went down. It's going to air tonight, but I'd really like to know what your thoughts are on that, because there's been gossip flying around and it's like kind of juicy because it's a little like you can get some insight from it. So let's go ahead and let's begin with, I covered on my recap, I think it was this week or last week, that there was allegations made that Kathy Hilton was in Aspen, threw a homophobic racial slur out at the club to somebody or multiple people, but not Sutton's assistant. And then Lisa Rinna tried to save her, was the rumor, and brought her home. And Kathy Hilton was so upset over the whole thing. She started throwing things and bashing things, and everybody, whoever was there in the house, got nervous or scared and locked themselves in their rooms. And so this is what's the gossip that's been flying around.
So the two things in that were not true. The only person at Kyle's house was Lisa Rinna. Well, she took her back to Kyle's, but no one else was there.
Okay. And also, so that's a great thing. I love that you're like setting the record straight. Thank you, Thea. And then, so what was the other thing that wasn't true that you thought?
Oh, just that Kathy didn't throw things. She just had like a tantrum.
She had like a freak out.
Right.
Okay. And then this is the night that she asked Rick to come get her via Instagram. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened was Lisa Rinna went public and called out. You actually posted all this information on your feed, on your gossip feed, and other really great stuff.
Lisa hasn't spoken about it publicly. The only thing that's come out from her was supposedly, and who knows if these are real, supposedly when it first happened, she DM'd somebody in the Bravo community, and they recently posted those DMs, and that was her saying, yes, this happened. But who knows? That's old. But since...
No, I thought she did more than that. I thought I saw her say that Kathy was a homophobic.
Right. And that's where you saw this, in those 2 DMs that someone posted, an Instagram site, a Bravo site. And that's where you saw it. So it does look like, but it wasn't recent. It was from right when it happened. And she hasn't at all commented. The only thing that she's done since Aspen has been some cryptic Instagram posts that people are assuming are talking about Kathy.
Right.
But she has not spoken out about it at all.
But those cryptic posts are like basically saying that Kathy is like, look at the kids and check out the kids.
I
And
mean, it's very obvious, but I'm just saying, I'm correcting by saying I know exactly the paper trail, and the only thing out there from her personally are those two DMs that supposedly she sent right after it happened. But
right.
the more damning part, I think, is that Kathy disappeared for 2 weeks. She didn't go to the wrap part, the finale party. She didn't film anymore. She was gone. And then her publicist, Marty Singer, sent cease and desist to all media outlets to do with Aspen. We know that for a fact. He did that. So that doesn't look great for Kathy.
Yes, but it basically what we have is a pretty strong confirmation that
something happened.
That these allegations that were really disturbing happened. Lisa seems but then also Kathy said Lisa publicly was a narcissist.
Again, she didn't name her, but we're all assuming, or was she talking about Kyle?
No, she was talking about Lisa.
Right. her and Kyle are Kathy and Kyle are fine right now, according to my sources from the MTV Awards. So Kathy, Kyle have patched things up since, but they didn't talk for a while after Aspen either. Nobody did.
Yeah, well, didn't Kathy say probably screamed some bad things, I would imagine. I made the association that when I heard gossip that Kathy was ranting, that maybe that would be when she might have, like Lisa Barlow did in Salt Lake City, accidentally forgot she was mic'd and maybe dragged Kyle, in front of Lisa Rinna, which maybe was why that scene we see in the trailer where she's like, crying and Lisa's like, you need to tell your sister what you did.
Yes, of course, that obviously happened in Aspen. The whole night was basically probably a shitstorm, and they did get like outside the club, because we all got those leaks of the videos from outside the clubs when it first happened. Something was wrong. People were yelling, fighting. We knew something went down in Aspen, all of us, because there were people outside the club filming with their cameras, and we all got that. So we did see there was a commotion. So part of this is on camera. The club, a very exclusive Caribou club, does not allow cameras. So Bravo is not inside the club. And that's, of course, part of the problem here. It's like, who saw it? Who saw what? Is this just Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane saying this happened? I mean, obviously, it better be more than that. And then the stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And the stuff in the house, I don't know if there were cameras there or not, or what got on camera. But yeah, they're alluding to that, and they will show that, assuming, on the show.
So, okay, so then we move on, and Patrick Somr shows up. And all of a sudden, Lisa Rinna publishes like a medium veiled threat by him to expose her on her Instagram with his phone number. And it's late and it's weird, and everybody's like, what the hell is going on?
Well, she posted this on Sunday morning. She posted his text to her, which said something about, I'm going to expose you. That's it. I mean, he didn't even allude to doxing her. He just was saying, basically, he's going to uncover her lies or something to that effect. And she posted it, and she posted it with his phone number. And she said, now I'm exposing you. And that's how it
Right. And then he said, I'm going to dox you back. And he showed her.
And then he started making all these weird posts and saying, yeah, exactly. Like, I'm going to. And then that's when everything.
And the big thing was he showed her number. Right. So
she showed his first. And then he showed hers. So they
but I'm sorry, but Patrick Somr is some idiot.
I know.
Lisa Rinna is like a big celebrity, however you want to cut the cake.
Right.
She's got and he put her phone number out there, and that's like huge.
Right. And here's the weird thing that happened that kind of ties into what happened with me. Someone did call his number. I'm sure a lot of people, but somebody did. And he answered it, Kathy Hilton's assistant.
They texted. I saw they put it out there.
The first time that her name has been brought into this, right? So it wasn't with me, because I'm getting a lot of flack, like, oh, I planted her name.
Oh no!
Right. So it already had come out there that she was involved. He said it.
And it was in writing. The fan, who I think obviously was, maybe even this guy something's not right. That's,
Right. Oh,
you
no.
know, like I'm going to get into that in a minute, but I mean, who knows if this was a friend of his just on Instagram that posted that just to get everybody going in a direction of Kathy Hilton. You know, because like I said, all this stuff we just talked about, it just kind of been talked about a lot. The Aspen scandal was really heavy in all of the conversations on Instagram before this guy pulled this stunt.
Right.
And so, you know, Kathy was the immediate, you know, thing that everybody went to. And he like, it almost felt a little too, it was like set up. Okay. So
because what had happened was they were clearly feuding, Kathy and Lisa. So the first thought everyone's having is who would want to get Lisa, who would give Lisa's phone number to anybody? It's so bizarre and it seems so kind of punitive or in some reasons. So even all of our minds went right to Kathy, like, you are mad at Lisa right now. Suddenly some crazy person has her phone number and he says your name. It's weird. That's what got me thinking it. Sorry.
Well, and also his fake narrative, almost, it's like he almost was using like something he thought would be believable, or he maybe like a little grain of some truth or something that he grew this whole thing from. And I want to get into that in a second. But anyway, so Lisa is obviously as confused as everybody else because she actually posts an attorney named Patrick Somers thinking it's him, and an entertainment attorney, and she's like, this is the man that's coming for me, and it wasn't. So messy. And so that just shows how totally confused Lisa was, because she never docs. Can you imagine doxing an entertainment attorney, and being wrong like to a million people?
I mean,
as a guy giving harassments, like,
it's crazy. Yeah.
It's like, what? Okay. And then so she's confused. That becomes apparent. Then more stuff happens where she doesn't she say it's Kathy, or what happens after that? I forgot.
So then people are tracking this kid down throughout the week to try to say, like, why did you? He put up a few more cryptic posts about how he's gonna hire 2 attorneys, and he put pictures of the attorneys up, which were so bizarre, like these 2 pictures very far apart from each other, and he was saying he was going to sue her for doxing him. So that's when it got weird, right? He said that, and then we were all paying attention now. You know, what is going on? This is strange. And I believe that was the end of Rinna's involvement, because she didn't, I don't think she wanted to give him attention. She thought this guy is crazy. Obviously, she probably changed her phone number, which I'm sure when you have an old phone number, if that was an old one, must not have been convenient. And then that was it for her. And then he just kept talking, and people were contacting him.
He said he was going to out Harry Hamlin.
Right. So he said a few things. He said that he was doing a reality show called The Real House Husbands of Sunset, and that he had asked Lisa Rinna to coach him for the show, how to be on a reality show. And they had lunch, and he was sitting at lunch with her, and she made a comment about his skin color. He's maybe mixed race, mulatto or something. I don't know, but that's what he says. So now this is out there. Now he's saying, this is why I sent that text message. This is his first story. He changes this story, his first story. So now this is out there, and everyone's actually kind of into this House Husbands of Sunset idea, you know, oh, that's what this is. It's a reality show. Maybe we're all being, you know, just set up to give this new show some press.
This is what the Bravo community believes.
Exactly. At first. And so he's just chatting about that the whole week now. And I don't know, people are still paying attention.
Okay. So let's just talk about how, like, on a Richter scale of nuts, like, I want to say this. I very rarely, my people who watch my crap know that I very rarely will be like, poor Lisa. Okay.
Right.
But in this particular case, I feel bad for Lisa, because this man is nuts, and I would be really worried. I'm not kidding. Like, I don't buy any of his BS. I don't buy his last post that he wrote. And I don't know, for any of you guys that are talking to Lisa, I'd be concerned, because when I listen to this gentleman, I'm going to put my glasses on now. It's getting serious.
Oh no.
When he went on this podcast, and he's blatantly lying on this podcast to such a level of detail. Okay. and we're going to get to his excuse in a minute, but I'm not buying what he's selling. He basically goes on this podcast, blonde hair, black heart. Yeah, blonde hair, black heart.
So exactly. So now we're to Thursday night, and he goes on Blonde Hair Black Heart, which is a Bravo fan site on Instagram with only about 1,500 followers. So there we go. A little bit odd, correct? Like he's not.
He says he turns down Heather McDonald and Juicy Scoop to go on this, which immediately to me, bing, 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 was that he didn't want to get sued. Because if he went to a bigger platform and said the amount of lies and what he said on this show to a large group of like millions of people, or like a, you know, top 10 show, he could easily be sued. I think he still could be sued, by the way. But I'm just saying, like, he on purpose chose a small one because he was already thinking, oh, well, I'll say that no one really heard it.
Right.
Okay. Right. So he goes on and he says, that he is the owner of a company called Cherry Los Angeles, okay, which is a fashion company. And he is co-owner of this company, who, by the way, is owned by Joseph Perez and David Levy, not him. There's no involvement from what I could find with this company as a founder. He then says that he's been in Forbes magazine and everybody should know him. And he's shocked that no one could figure out who he was because his family is from Forbes. I mean, if this doesn't, like, what? Then he goes on in this interview and he says, I have an assistant. Everybody thinks I'm just young, but I'm from a Forbes family and I have an assistant. So see, I was talking to my assistant. This is what he said. I can't believe that this actually interviewer didn't just hang up. I was halfway through it going, okay, at this point, I'd be like, you're a liar, Fruit Loop, get off my show. Anyway, he says he's 22 going on 23. And he said that he was going on a show for Hulu.
Right.
And the Hulu show, it starts with an H and ends with the U, but he'd already put on Instagram the name of the show you gave. So, and which doesn't start with an H and end with an U, right? So that's just crazy. Then he went on and he said, I can't talk about my, why I'm doing this and my company and all this stuff too much because I'm on an NDA. Never, like, forget the marketing guy NDA that he signed, over there, that one. He said that he met Lisa, which I know isn't true. I know for a fact it isn't true. He met Lisa for lunch and that she made an insensitive remark, and he implies that it has to do with his complexion, but then he backtracks and says, but it isn't a racist comment, but it just made me upset. She sent me an apology. I didn't like the apology, so I retaliated with the threat.
Right.
So I just want to say, and then he says his show's coming out in 12 months. The guy starts off with like 10,000 followers. By the end of the 5 days, he has 150,000 followers on Instagram and goes private.
Right.
Okay. So what's the lesson there, guys? Like, pretty scary, spooky stuff. Everything he said was detailed, was anchored in like a full-on story. Like, I was sweating, the sun was out. I remember the tablecloth pattern. It was blue and it was white. She looked at me with a glare like that. And every single thing was a lie. Every single thing he said to this podcast. He actually said, and I repeat, he said that Harry Hamlin was having an affair with a man he knew during the Pride festivities, that he was actually having an affair and leaving Lisa Rinna. And that was happening during Pride.
Right.
And this guy is like Scout's honor on a show. Okay.
So now that brings me to me. So I am, that's my little Instagram friend, blonde hair, black heart, sweet guy. I know him. We all know each other. And
tell him I'm not dragging him, but oh my God, you got to kick us. You got to yeah.
So a follower sends me the link to that podcast and says, you have to see it. It's that guy, the one that doxed Rinna. He's on this podcast. And this is right after the podcast aired. So I'm just doing nothing. My husband's out of town. My kids are asleep. I just check out this podcast, right? As my friend, I want to support him. And I'm the same as you. I'm watching it. My mouth is like, what? And the thing that got me the most was we all read that threat. And none of what he was saying made sense as to what that threat said. So that's why immediately I said, this kid immediately is lying. This is not his text was so obviously not a response to a text. So I immediately said to myself, he's lying. I didn't even listen to the rest of the podcast. I immediately got off the podcast and I found this kid on Instagram. I've never even followed him with the doxing thing. I didn't care. I followed him. It wasn't private yet. And I messaged him and I said, hey, and I said, of course, what's now been everywhere. Listen, I saw you on your podcast and I really just want to help you get your story out there. Did somebody put you up to this? Is the gist of what I said to him. Now, Dana, you know, I did not expect in a million years to hear back from this person ever. He doesn't know me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
At this point, I have like 11,000 followers. I'm not a huge site. I don't know what, and I'm talking gibberish. I'm embarrassed by how stupid what I said was, but I'm not practically kidding at this point. I'm like, hey, why don't you tell me?
Well, you knew he was lying. You had the power of knowing he was lying.
Right, but I just didn't think he would respond. A liar doesn't respond to somebody. They hide, right? Like he just
a crazy person does, though.
Right. Well, I didn't know yet that he was crazy. I knew he was a liar. I didn't know the crazy because so far the stuff he said on the podcast was the wildest it had gotten all week. He was kind of a little consistent with his lies, even though, and we all didn't even know there were lies yet. We thought, okay, he's filming a reality show. It was strange, but then now we know he's lying. But this has just come out, the podcast, so maybe I'm the first person to reach out to him. I have no idea why he responded. It only took him a few minutes, and then I heard back immediately or whatever, 2 minutes later, and that's when he was saying, like, you know, I'm glad somebody finally asked me this. You know, I've been waiting to tell this. And only because he had said Kathy Hilton's name that first day on his own Instagram, or somebody had posted that he had said, I'm Kathy Hilton's assistant. And that was posted with the phone number. So I said, well, okay, is she involved? Now, I didn't expect him to answer me. At first he didn't. He was just saying, okay, right away he said to me, somebody that's a housewife paid me a good amount of money to divert the attention from a bad news cycle. Said it right away. I didn't even have to lead him into that part. He just said it. I have never expected that to be the answer. Someone paid you to divert the news cycle. It was so specific and odd. But I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense because this whole week was so strange. I know you're not doing a reality show now. I know everything you said was a lie because you weren't responding to any text. You didn't have lunch probably with Lisa Rinna. Otherwise, why would she text that? Why would she post that if she already knew you? His name wasn't in her phone when she quote unquote doxed him. It was just a phone number. So, I mean, already I knew that he was lying. But I thought to myself, I mean, this is all happening quickly. He's DMing me. I'm DMing him back. And I'm trying to get this kid to talk. So I say some dumb things like, oh, I violate NDAs all the time, every day. You know, just trying to get the kid to say to me, yes, like this is somebody paid me. And I wanted him to tell me who paid him, right? He could have said anybody. And when I said, does the name rhyme with Milton, which people are accusing me now of trying to get the kid to implicate Kathy. Like I have something against Kathy and I was trying to get him. Well, he could have said no. Just say no. No, it does not rhyme with Milton, right? It's done. And say, but I can't tell you who it is, or say it rhymes with Pinna, or say it rhymes with whatever you want to say. It's fine. But he didn't. He said yes. And then whatever we went on to say, and then he told me, you can do with whatever you want with this. He said, until I'm, I post about it, whatever he said. So I got up there and posted the DMs because he basically said I could. He said, do with this whatever you want until it becomes public information. So I posted it. So people are also getting on me because at the beginning I said, I won't tell anybody, just tell me. But he changed that narrative. He told me, no, you can post this basically. So I did. And I posted it on my Instagram and I said, Kathy Hilton paid this kid to dox Rinna and do all this stuff. I don't know. That's what he told me.
Did Lisa Rinna repost it? Didn't she repost it for a period?
Right. So this is the crazy part. This happened during while they are filming tonight's MTV Awards. That's what's crazy.
What's airing tonight? They pre-record the MTV Awards, you guys.
And this is the crazy part of it, which is that I didn't think of that. I'm DMing him because of the broadcast I saw. I'm not trying to spill tea in the middle of a freaking, the first time that Lisa Rinna and Erica Jane have seen Kathy Hilton since Aspen. They have not seen her since all that allegedly went down. The big fight in the house, everything. So now they're at the MTV Awards, and I'm posting this on my Instagram. So I don't know. Are they looking at their phones? Do they know? I mean, it's everywhere in about 10 minutes. It's starting to get posted everywhere in about 10 minutes. I tagged Lisa Rinna in my original post on my Instagram stories because I wanted her to know, like, this kid's been lying all week and we know it now. He didn't sit down to lunch with you. You didn't make an uncomfortable comment. He just told me that. Now, I'm not Team Rinna. My site is not. If you've been following me forever, you'll know I come for her regularly.
You're neutral.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was that the kid was telling me he lied to us all. And I was upset about that. And I was upset he lied to my friend on his podcast. So that's.
Oh my gosh. I would be so pissed.
So that's the first person before I even posted, I DM'd him and I said, I think he lied to you. This is what he told me. And that kid immediately messaged him and he wrote him right back and said, I did. I lied to you. I was paid. This is what I do for a living. It's not personal. And so even before
he kind of wrote that post to the podcast guy, even though he made it public. It was sort of in response.
Also, in addition to his post, there was a DM that blonde hair, black heart guy did put on his site that said something to the same effect. Very short, but it said, I'm sorry that I lied to you, but I had to. It's my job. But he admitted it. So my point is, he didn't just admit this to me. He admitted it to that kid as well. And so now we both have this admission. And then a few minutes later, he posts his big manifesto with, stuff spelled wrong and Lisa Rinna's name spelled wrong, saying, yes, I did in fact lie. There is no reality show. I was paid to do this. Now, in his manifesto, he doesn't.
When did Lisa post your message? Was it before the manifesto?
No, after. So now she's still at the award show. Now we don't know. We don't know if she's gotten my whatever that is when you tag someone, the DM.
Yeah.
I don't know this yet, but I have a follower who's sitting at the table next to them. There's three Beverly Hills Housewife tables at the MTV Awards. And this follower is telling me everything that's happening at the awards. Who's sitting next to who is talking to who, the whole thing. So I say to the follower, does she seem upset? Is she looking at her phone? Like, I want to know, does she know? Because if she does know, she thinks right now that Kathy Hilton paid somebody to do this to her. She can't not say anything at the MTV Awards. This is what I'm thinking. Turns out nothing. The follower says she doesn't look upset. She's not looking at her phone. Her and Erica get up to leave early. They don't stay for the party, and they leave. And then when they leave, and now the follower is giving me the play-by-play, so I know she's left. When she's left, I see that she's seen it says seen, saw my DM. And then she posts. So she posts probably in the limo on the way home.
Yeah, that sounds like what would have happened.
Right. And so now
it was weird that why do you think Erica and Lisa just did the presentation and left?
Because they were, so I don't know anything about Erica Jane at all.
Speculate.
As far as I know, they were uncomfortable to be around Kathy because of what happened in Aspen. And they had given Paris a big award, and Kathy had gone and sat next to Lisa Rinna after the award was presented. And I think this is complete speculation. I have no idea why they left. I'm guessing that maybe they didn't want to sit there and chow with Kathy after the awards were over, because now you're talking to people, you're interacting, it's a party. Before, you're all sitting at tables watching awards. Maybe it's not that uncomfortable.
Hey, I have a question about the MTV Awards. Maybe you could help. There was a video that really made people wonder, which is it's Kathy Hilton on stage with Kyle Richards, and they're sitting in chairs.
Yeah.
And then there's like a girl in the middle. I don't know who she is. I'm sure you guys probably know who she is, but there's a girl in the middle and she's like in between Kyle and Kathy. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is happening here?
I don't know. I saw that.
Like they were on stage, but I was like, it's like BravoCon, but it isn't.
I would guess a presenter, possibly. Maybe that was for the Paris Award and that was a presenter of the award. I don't know. I saw the same thing you're talking about. Kyle's face looked very strange. Like Her expression was weird, but they capture these little moments, and who knows what's going on.
You guys, beautiful as usual. I got some tea to send you later on Insta, Dana. Oh, baby. I'm so thirsty.
Good. Don't send it to me. I want no more tea. Don't send me tea.
Send it all to me. Everybody send it to me, and then I'll filter it and send it to Thea after I've done my, my validation that I do. Okay, can't wait. So, okay. I guess where I'm at with it is, all right, let me go and say something. So then there's this, I'm going to bring it back to Patrick for a second, this guy. He said in his post, everybody knows how methodical I am. Hi, I'm Patrick Somr. So this is he sends his resume to Bravo Snarkside, and he says to everybody, hi, I'm Patrick Somers, a private marketing manager for some of the biggest celebrities in the world. My latest assignment was executed against Lisa Rinna. I never reveal a client's personal information per my NDA agreement. My latest marketing campaign was to draw attention away from my client. That's exactly what I did. All narrative associated with my latest campaign are false. I was compensated $27,527.72. Do you see the level of detail? Ooh.
Well, that level of detail made him look like a liar. I'm sorry.
But this is what he's done the whole time. Then he says, for my work, all media outlets and tabloids were planted by me. There is no lawsuit, no new reality show, and frankly, I've never met Lisa Rinna. I hope you can understand on this in my line of work, and simply nothing personal, Patrick Somers. But it's a lie. Right. He's not a celebrity marketing guy. You guys, I owned an ad agency in LA for like 16 years. You don't do even a publicity stunt. There are boundaries that you do things within. You would never, no matter how awesome the stunt was, you would never show Lisa Rinna's cell number on behalf of anyone, because all I have to do is sue you, and your NDA is like gone. It's gone. A court's gonna cut through that NDA like no tomorrow, and he's gonna see exactly whether you're a stalker or whether you're like, legitimately been hired by somebody to do this. This is like not okay. No. And this gentleman pretending that he's some super smart mastermind celebrity marketing guy, dangerous. He's not. I know for a fact he's not. Right. There's not one sign of him. If you're an advertising marketing person, you know how to market yourself. He is not. He's like a ghost out on the internet, like a little bebop who just invented this whole thing. I went through his feed before he made it private. The most I could think of, it says LA and New York at the top. It's like him with some like fashion, not one promo, not one stunt with a brand, nothing. The only thing I heard that maybe I believe is he's a stylist. I heard he might be a stylist, and that he's like a struggling stylist trying to get going. That was the one thing I heard, which could explain where he'd get the number from. Lisa's number.
I think the number thing is a red herring. Come on, she's had the same phone, according to somebody, forever. Same phone number forever. My old boss knows her, so I think when she got docked, she said, "Oh, that is Lisa Rinna's phone number," and she's had that same number forever. So you can get that number. You're sending her flowers. You've got an Amazon. I don't know. There's a million reasons someone could get her number. He obviously stumbled upon this number. And then I don't think that he had this all planned out. I think he changed his plan as he went along, because no one could have known I was going to DM him. So I don't know what his plan was for exposing this all, but going to me and telling me, I reached out to him. So he's just winging it, right? At this point, he's winging it. He didn't know that she would post that on her page. He's probably just trying to harass her, right? No, a lot of people don't like Lisa. He's saying, hey, I'm going to expose you, because he finds her number. And he's one of those people online who don't like her, right? Probably. And then after he does that, she doxes him, which he didn't expect. And he immediately starts getting followers, and he starts to think, hey, I could do something with this. And I think the whole narrative about being that marketing genius was to possibly have people think he is one, so he maybe gets hired as one. You know, oh wow, you did that amazing stunt. Everyone was paying attention to you. Look at all your followers. Like you're actually a catch. You know, people without morals who just want some scummy person to work for them. He could get a job off of it, right? Like we all think, oh my gosh, he lied, but someone else might think, wow, you did this whole thing by yourself. You came up with it. You said that one of the housewives paid you. This is genius. So I think that was his motivation, was to get followers, to maybe be able to turn this into some sort of paid gig, some sort of somebody impressed with his stunt. That's what I think.
I agree. I think, you know, he called out so many times this imaginary reality show. I think he's trying to get on a reality show.
Right.
That's actually what I think his real motive is. I think he's like struggling. Maybe he's a stylist, maybe he isn't, but that's what I've been told. And that basically, I think he's trying to get himself like noticed. Like, I mean, it's not like we haven't heard this before. Bronwyn, for self-admittedly, posted when she moved to Orange County from Miami. She was in my PTA in Miami. She put pictures of her wealth and everything, that she was renting that house, and just to show that, you know, get the casting director's attention for
Right.
the
Well,
show. And it worked.
Well,
It worked.
famously, Noella. I mean, she hounded the producers for 2 years before she got on the show. So
Yeah.
it's definitely something people do. You get a little bit of recognition, and then you try to parlay that. Hey, I'm that guy they're all talking about. And then you have a social media following, which right now is really important to get hired for anything.
Well, I was just going to say, and that's really what it comes down to now. He can say, I have 150,000 followers, and they're Bravo fans or enemies, and they're the most powerful audience. And now, like, I will get a reality show. Like, thank you very much for being a total psycho. One thing I will say, though, is that I think I have a theory about why Lisa Rinna posted it, because a lot of people think that Lisa Rinna, it couldn't be innocent, all this, because she posted, like, who posts a message sent, who's posts like some random person's, number or whatever threatening you. You just don't do it. And I have a theory, and I want to hear what you think about it. Okay, this is just a theory. Do you think that it's possible that Lisa got scared and wanted to make sure people knew, so if something happened to her? I'm serious.
I mean, yeah, honest to God, that's what it seemed like to me, because even when she posted it and she deleted it right away, like, it seemed like a scared person would say, and that is kind of on brand for her, to be ballsy like no one else is, and use her 3 million followers as an audience for someone who's pulling some bullshit. She's done that millions of times. So I think that her posting that actually was not out of character. I think that she's the kind of person that would say, oh, you want to mess with me? I'm not scared of you. I'm going to let 3 million people know who you are. You want to expose me? I don't know if she thought it through, but she did it. I mean, the idea that she would be involved in it to any other degree, it just doesn't make sense. She hasn't even weighed in on it. She hasn't orchestrated it. It's a Rinna hater theory that they've come up with, because her name, he used her name in his manifesto saying, I've never met Lisa Rinna. And so no one likes that. They want him to say, like, oh, Lisa Rinna put me up to this. Well, I'm 100% sure she didn't put him up to it. I'm 99% sure Kathy Hilton didn't either. Although from the things I've heard about Kathy Hilton, I don't put anything past that woman. And they threatened me. Her team threatened me. It went on.
No, tell me about that. Dish it.
Yeah, they came. Well, I wouldn't say the word threatened. She was very nice. She DM'd me in the middle of the night. I'm saying 1 a.m. on Thursday night. So now this is all going down. It's on my page. I can't sleep. People are crazy. And I get this DM out of the blue from this woman with her username and everything, not like not an anonymous anything. And she said, hi, can you please take that down? I work for Kathy. Ask him for proof. Ask him for his 1099. Ask him for a canceled check. He does not work for Kathy. This is a lie, and you need to take it down. And I was like, what? And then I looked at her Instagram page, and absolutely, she works for Kathy Hilton. She's a PR person or whatever, but I don't know what her role is, to be honest. I've heard conflicting things, because this woman, my follower, my little B follower at the MTV Awards, said she was with Kathy at the MTV Awards getting her sodas and kind of waiting on her. So I kind of threw the word assistant out there because that's what this follower told me she acted like at the awards. She said, wow, that woman was at the awards. So the woman says, and it's 1 a.m. or my time, Eastern time. So now we're at, 10 o'clock or whatever, 10 o'clock LA time, 11, 12. It's like 1:30. She's saying, I'm sitting here with Kathy and Rick. I'm in Kathy's den. And Kyle's on speakerphone. So she throws Kyle in there, right? Like just to say to me, like, we're all watching you to see if you're going to take this down. And she said, it's not true. And we'd really appreciate it. Kathy would really appreciate it. She loves her fans. And she wants, doesn't want this out there because it's just not true. She's never heard of this guy. He sounds crazy. And she said, so if you wouldn't mind putting it down. So of course I didn't. And the only reason I didn't, to be honest, if it was a complete crock, I probably would have. I've done that before. I've posted tea and taken it right down because it was so stupid. But this I kept up because the kid admitted that he lied all week. He admitted that he lied about the reality show. He lied about knowing Lisa. So I said, no, a lot of this is true. If Kathy didn't pay him, that is a lie. But I'm leaving it all up there because that's what he told me. And let's all find out if it's true or not, right? Like, just because the kid acts crazy doesn't mean Kathy Hilton didn't pay him. I mean, at this point, we all think she didn't. But it's Thursday night. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, I'm not going to let Kathy Hilton tell me. And by the way, I already know what happened in Aspen, Kathy. So you're the last person that I'm going to listen to right now. So I didn't.
Right. Because that's, I think, important to say is that the certain bloggers know what happened and certain influencers and certain people know what happened in Aspen for sure. So like,
right. So then
they're acting from a different knowledge base.
So 3:30 in the morning, I get another message from her. Now we're at 12:30 and she says, we're waiting. Why haven't you taken it down yet? And she's telling me that she knows my old boss, that was Julia Roberts' producing partner. She used to live near her. And she said, so I'm legit. Like, I know her. I used to live near her before she was married. And I'm legit. And also she knows Julia's publicist. I know her very well. I talk to her all the time. So that I'm who I say I am, and I'm asking you as a favor to please take this down. And I was like, oh, wow, that's great that you know them, but it's 3:30 in the morning. I really have to get some sleep, and she said,
wow, this is so stressful.
And then she said, well, have a great night. And then that was it. And then cut to Saturday night. I hear from her again. And she says, and I was
you're like hanging out with Kathy in her head all weekend.
I was doing an Ask Me Anything, right? Because things were getting out of control, my DMs. And I thought, let me just answer questions so that I don't have to return 7,000 DMs. So someone, of course, asked me, what do you think? And I said, Kathy Hilton's assistant actually harassed or threatened me. I said threatened last night to take this down. And she DMs me and she says, I did not threaten you. I was very polite. I was very nice. I told you I know so-and-so and so-and-so. And I asked you to take it down. And she said, and by the way, I'm not Kathy's assistant. I work for her. And that was what she said, like in the middle of my AMA, which I was like, okay. And
wow.
And then eventually I didn't take it down again because now I'm just kind of spiting them. Like, come on, don't push me around. And this thing's everywhere now. What's the point of taking it down? And then I did end up taking it down because the kid was just at this point had changed his story 10 times. He's now gone to Radar Online. He said in the middle of the day that I lied, that I made up all the DMs. And people
what did he say? I didn't hear this part.
He posted on his Instagram story. That site that posted my DMs, they're fabricated. Have you ever seen a name underlined on a DM? That if you guys believe that, you're crazy. Like, she made these up.
So he said you made up your conversation with him?
Because a lot of people were on my comment section saying that my his name was underlined on my DM. And they said that it has to be a fake DM because there's no underlining on people's names in a DM. And a lot of people had said this. So he jumps on that. Obviously, he's on my comment page, right? People are writing to me, I went to junior high school with Patrick Summers. He's a great guy. He doesn't even talk like that in your DMs. Like, you made these up. And I'm laughing.
Nuts.
Yep.
Do you see how crazy?
And I'm laughing because I'm saying he doesn't talk like that. He is now at this point repeated his exact words that he said to me in my DMs in his own manifesto and on Radar Online. So he's repeated these words, the things he said, like, I've been paid and I run a whatever. he said that to me and he said it to other people. So don't take my word for it. I didn't doctor these DMs. They're not made up. So now I'm mad because this kid's calling me a liar, and he's
I
posting.
think I'm just disgusted with the fact that Radar, and by the way, I like Radar generally. Okay. I have some followers that are related to Radar. So I love Radar. We'll say that, just, to be political. But the truth is that's really in absolutely irresponsible for them to be publishing that this guy pulled off. I want you to know that if you go to his Instagram right now, under his link on his profile, he has the article to Radar online, like it's his resume,
Right.
that he basically pulled off this stunt as a celebrity marketing guy, which Radar regurgitated and did. There's definitely no proof. So I looked and I do the deep dive. So I want to know, why did Radar should take that down. They should take the link on his little Instagram link thing down. Because this was everybody wasted everybody's time, was a very scary thing he did to Lisa Rinna, was completely fabricated, had no basis of any truth that I have been able to establish whatsoever, even by him saying it. And for him to get celebrated in the tabloids and to be celebrated by getting 150,000 followers is really gross.
I think that's pretty much the general opinion at this point, is everyone thinks that
you know what? That's great, but they're still following him.
That's true. They are. I think people want to see what he's doing next. They think he's, out of his mind, and it's kind of interesting to watch. Maybe I can't imagine this following will hold up very long. I can't. I mean, he's obviously trying to parlay this, right? Because he posted that link. So he's trying to parlay this so that he gets some sort of gig. That has to be it. And, him posting that Radar link is more proof that that's the motive behind all this. Right?
Totally. Yeah, he put it like his bio on his thing.
I mean, I guess I don't fault Radar for interviewing him. He's the moment they need to ask him questions, and he answered. Now what are they supposed to do?
Well, no, what you can do is say, okay, so you're a marketing guy and this was a stunt and you were paid for it. So we'd like to just see some proof you were paid for it.
Right.
We'd like to see any client you've ever had in your whole life besides your resume that has nothing that I could validate.
Right.
That I know that you're not just some psycho guy who just harassed a celebrity in plain sight.
Right.
To their home number or their cell number. I'm all for the story and I'm all for the tea and the juice, but it should be based in some legitimacy or truth, or you really know, you may say it's alleged, or you may say, but you kind of know it's, often I say gossip and I'll be like, well, this is alleged, but I actually know already it isn't alleged. I'm saying that to be polite to my source. I'm saying that to be, nice to the person that told me and protect them. But I don't say, stuff unless I'm pretty sure on it,
Right. Yeah.
Or I say it's gossip. I'll say, well, this is definitely, I have no idea, or I don't believe it. That's when I'm not sure.
Right.
And I'm curious.
I think people came down on me as well for posting it without it part of it ended up not being true with the whole Kathy stuff. Or if it is, who knows? I really don't know. I don't think she paid, but I really think the kid just made it all up so that he could get followers and then maybe get an actual gig as maybe that's his dream job, and he's manifesting it to be somebody you hire to divert the news cycle. That's his dream job, and he's manifesting it. And we just gave him the platform for it. And I'm the idiot that happened to DM him about it, which I have no idea how I got that lucky, but.
Well, I'm proud of one thing I am proud of is that, you took us on a nice roller coaster ride.
I mean, people who come after me, I try to say to them, I expose the fact that this kid lied to us all week. Isn't that valuable? Okay, I get that now part of his spilling to me was probably not true, but it was true that he lied all week. And he told me that, and I'm the one who asked him that. No one else did. So isn't that something? Now we know we all were lied to. There was no reality show. There was no. So I feel like I did some sort of, thing, but
you taught some people a valuable lesson this week. It's not
Right.
easy to be in the gossip business.
No, it is not. I don't know how you know things are true when someone's telling you them. How do you
You
know?
work really hard. You work really hard.
No, I agree.
I have a question. My question is this: do you have any insight that you could speculate on in regards to Kyle and Kathy and what they might have thought about? And if not, do you have any tea related to what Bethany was talking about? Maybe the friend at the MTV told you why Bethany went on her feed and said that there was, if so much gossip at the table.
I don't know. I just know that she said that no one was visibly arguing. There was no visible argument. There was no huge brawl. There was nothing like that. They could very well have been sitting at that table talking about Aspen, talking about, I don't know, whatever the latest gossip is. But there definitely wasn't a fight. And by the way, as we know, no Bravo cameras were there. So even if there was, we'll never see it. They're not going to show it on the MTV show. They don't care about what, Kathy Hilton is talking about with Kyle or whatever. But as far as I know, there were no brawls. And I do know that Erica and Brenna left early, like at 10 o'clock. They didn't go to the party. So then the rest of the ladies were at the party. And I know that Garcelle was not at the club in Aspen. So everyone asking, why is Garcelle still friends with Kathy? If Kathy made these slurs, that is why, because she wasn't there. She didn't witness
Didn't hear it.
Right. So she just has people's word. And I guess maybe that's not enough for her, which is fine. And, but the rest of the ladies were there. So we'll have to see. Hopefully some of it plays out on the show. I don't know. I know that there were no cameras in the club. So we'll never see these alleged slurs or slur happen.
Well, I don't know if they will Bravo will want to lose Kathy over it. And Kathy's probably too I think Kathy would quit.
But I will say it now, and you can hold me to this. I really don't think Kathy's coming to the reunion. I think that when the Aspen episodes do air, it's not going to look good for her because there is aftermath involved. I know this for a fact. They do show stuff on the sidewalk and with the ladies after. So she doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for her to send cease and desist, to disappear. So I don't think she's going to face that at the reunion unless by some miracle the tide turns in her favor. I have no idea. Maybe she's going to be painted as a victim of some sort of elaborate scheme to pull her down from the queen and all that. I don't know, but so I don't think she's going to show up at the reunion, which makes me think that she won't face the music on it. And I think she'll just show up, season 1 of filming next season.
Well, if she doesn't go to the reunion, she'll be fired.
No, she won't. That's what I heard. She won't. I heard that she's too popular and they won't. She's a friend of, she doesn't have to show up. And if she doesn't.
No, she does. You have to go. I have the contract. You have to go.
I'm just saying, I heard from this.
I know what you're saying, but it's not true. You fire her.
Unless Kathy Hilton for not showing up. I can't imagine. I hope you're right.
I know Andy, like he's going to be concerned about precedent.
Right.
Everybody always thinks that Bravo has like these like ways of customizing things for certain people who are awesome. Like these epic. Andy has like an MO, which is like, we do things a cookie cutter way and we make some exceptions, but not many. And we don't break it for anyone, because if we break it in one show, we got to break it in this show. And where does it start and where does it end? And how do I not piss off this guy and I piss off? Right. So he just is like blanket.
So no housewife or friend of housewife has not shown up for a reunion and then filmed the next season. None ever.
Adrian Malouf didn't come back, fired. Lisa Vanderpump, supposedly he was going to let her come back. She had another show, but didn't come back. So we'll never know if she was really truly like fired or just truly didn't want to come back. He has this thing where he'll beg them to come.
Right.
And then if you don't, Mary, guess what? Hate to break it to you guys. I know there's been rumors she's coming back. She's not coming back. She's not in Salt Lake. Boom, out. So name one person.
Right. So if things get bad enough for Kathy and she doesn't show up to the reunion, then she's done on the show, which I guess is a fine outcome, because I personally don't want anyone on this show that I love. If they're making those kind of comments to people in a club, I would not like her to be on the show. I love the Housewives. If it happened, which I'm I personally think 100% it happened. So I wonder.
You know what I don't know though, which is opposite. You made me think of it. Is that if you're cut off the show like Tracy was in New Jersey, do they let you come back?
I mean, why would
like
they
Tracy? Okay.
No, that was so funny. I think that they would let you back. What if something huge happened in Tracy's life over the summer or something, and then that would be hilarious though. Like,
oh my God, I honestly,
me again.
I felt so bad for Tracy being cut out of the reunion. Oh my God, that's the worst. Oh, one thing I want to say though, did you hear the gossip? I heard this. This is a good one. I heard that Teddy Mellencamp wasn't invited to the MTV Awards, but like Tamra somehow took her.
Yeah, she went as Tamra's +1.
But she's Mellencamp's daughter. Like, could she not? Like,
MTV. This is really when you know that you've hit a level of people not liking you.
Like Big Brother, when she lasts a week, MTV doesn't invite her, and she's Mellencamp's daughter, and she has to go as Tamra's +1. And Tamra's not. Were they even nominated? Like, how the hell did Tamra get in?
No, you're right. I don't know how Tamra got in, but that is crazy. I know, but it's so on brand for Teddy Mellencamp, who always is like that little sister that's running behind you and can't quite catch up and trying so hard to be in with your group of cool friends. And I know.
Well, she's like, you know, someone sent me the listing to her house, and I looked at her house. It's sick. Like, she lives in a sick ass house. So, I mean, I'm like, how is Teddy Mellencamp? I mean, it's got to be like a $9 million looking house.
Yeah, but John Mellencamp is worth what?
Do you think he pays though? I heard he doesn't give her anything till he's dead. I heard.
Have you ever known a really huge celebrity like that's child to have to want for anything? This is not like a normal celebrity. This is not Tom Cruise. This is someone who is making money off his music to this day. These people are in another level. They're hundreds of millions of dollars. So I think he can float a $9 million house if he wants to.
Oh my God, it was so nice. I was like, I'm never feeling bad for this woman again. Like, sometimes I'm like, wow, maybe I'm coming too hard for her. And like, you know, because I kind of enjoy it. I don't know why. But like, she is living her best life in this ginormous sick ass mansion. So like, I never feel bad again. Like, she's all right. No, she's doing all right.
The only way that I would think that she's struggling is if she was estranged from her father, but she's not. They're close. She's and she's obviously her husband makes money and all that stuff too. So you know,
Edwin supposedly has an MLM multi-level marketing component to his security company.
I've heard this
too. Kind of like a little culty.
Like, he's not out there doing nuts and bolts security people. He is selling basically other companies' security systems. He's basically like the middleman. So it's funny when you say like, oh, Edwin's security company. No, this is not what he is not someone who made something. He's someone who got in the middle of a booming industry and is making it work for him financially. But he is not like someone who invented something or who owns a company that, you know, actually installs alarms. That's not what he does. You're right. It's funny because I think that's a popular.
They were like saying, like, he was showing like lifestyle stuff. Like, if you do like I'm, you know, doing, you'll have this car and like, you know, those cheesy ad type things. Anyway, I don't know. But well, is there any more tea you want to spill? And I'm going to just ask everybody if they have any questions. You guys, do you have anything you want to spill or ask before we go? Oh my God, I need to say this. Okay, yes, she is. I love that you said that she's the morality police. Oh my gosh. When she talks to me, it's always like, you know, it's the right thing to do. I'm like, who the hell are you? What? Like, what are you advising me? Like, yes. Isn't that so annoying? That girl, that is not the one to morally tell you what to do, and yet is that girl. That's
why so many people don't like her.
Okay, let's look. Teddy is kind of blah. Even the rock star dad, laugh out loud. Tamra, I can't help it. OG. Yeah, well, everyone seems to like Tamra. I liked Tamra till she dragged me for no reason. And when I met her at Kyle's house, she was so nice. I had never a bad encounter with her. And then suddenly she starts hanging out with Teddy under her dad's shadow.
Wait, Dana, this reminds me. Tamara reminds me of something. Are you going to come to Bravo Can't?
Oh yeah, the Bravo Can't, the opposite, where the dark side of Bravo celebrities lie. the estranged.
I'm hosting.
Nene.
I'm hosting this event. It's outside of BravoCon. It's going to be 5 blocks away from the Javits Center. I'm not even joking. It's called Bravo Can't. And everybody that can't get tickets or isn't fast enough on their little computers can come by this bar that I'm going to literally have. We're all going. We're going to party. We're going to have so much fun. I actually am invited to go to BravoCon. I can't believe that I am, but I actually have a chance to go if I want to.
You would go, yeah.
Right, but I don't want to go to all these things where you sit with a sea of people and the little Bravo Lebs are like a dot. If there's a party, I'll go for sure. I mean, friend.
Last year I was going to do what you're saying with David Yontif, but from Behind the Velvet Rope. I was going to crash it with Heather McDonald. We had a plan. And I was going to crash it with her. And then I was going to go to a party across the street with David and from Behind the Velvet Rope. And we were going to do a party. But then I lost interest in it. And now
that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. Well, I'm doing. I'm having a party. I'm also going to go to some of BravoCon to something that I think is cool. If there's anything cool. My friend is
You guys, DM Your Moms Are Watching to find out about our party. Sounds fun.
Right.
Okay, let's see what we got here. What else we got? Cameron's a bully and Eddie is gay. Okay, wow. I'm all right. Happy Pride Month. Woo! Okay. Teddy refuses to get canceled. I love it. Oh my gosh. Kenzie, how well said. That's so well said, darling. Let's see. Teddy. Miss Lady was saying she's wondering, she said it in kind of a jerky way, but she's wondering if the contracts change on here in Beverly Hills land. And actually, I don't think they have changed that much, except that they now pay you per episode you appear in. Whereas when I was on the show, it was by season. Mm-hmm. So you didn't matter how much or little you were in. And I just want to say this, you guys. I got in so many fights with people about Real Housewives of New Jersey where they were saying that the men were being paid, the husbands, because that was some exception. And then I said to myself, well, the only way I could see that happening based on the contract is as a secondary participant, like they're a friend of a housewife and they pay them that way. And sure enough, but I argued, I said, I don't think so. That's never been the way it was with any husband. Doesn't matter how awesome they are. And everybody was like, no, your contract's old. You don't know. It's different now. All this crap. Well, guess what? Frank went on a podcast, which I put in a video, which you can see 4 down from, on the regular page of YouTube, and said, none of the husbands get paid. None of them.
No.
And that's because they're not secondary cast members. They're not primary cast members. They're nobody. They're just on the show. Right. Okay. So my old dusty contract is still pretty valid. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's see. Kathy is just a friend, though. Maybe the contract is different. No. So Christopher, the way it works is everybody gets a contract, and the contract has primary and secondary in it. If you suck, they will demote you from primary to secondary at any moment in the season. If you're great, they will promote you from secondary to primary in the season. Your contract's predefined, so they can do what they want as they please, which that means what's great about that for production is they can dangle a carrot if you're a friend of the entire season. So you want to perform for that primary role. And if you suck, they can say, don't go doing that because now we can bump you to secondary and the terms are already pre-negotiated. Now I heard something they're doing new. This is a new thing. They're actually having no one sign a contract now. In the old days, in the beginning, they'd say, all right, guys, we want you. You're 5 weeks into shooting. We want you, sign the contract, right? But now they're doing this. Well, let's shoot the whole season and we'll let you know if we want to do a contract.
It's smart of them.
So now they're maybe not paying anybody until they absolutely have to. Yep. And what do you think that does to the people casting? They're getting like nuttier and nuttier and more like, oh my God, what can I do? I'm going to go hit the chick.
Desperate people now. Yep.
Love you, Dana. Sorry I'm late. Oh my God, Sheila. She wrote, love you, Dana. She gave me $20. Sheila, that's so generous. Love you. Oh my God. I'm going to go buy drinks with that tonight. Okay. We'll have to rewatch. Please do, Sheila. Please do. Thanks for coming. Okay. Chris Gunstra. Until all those idiots out there didn't Auntie Kim date Donald Trump. No wonder her daughter knows how to do fraud and launder money. Whoa. That was a doozy. I probably should have read that one before I put it up. Scott Stevens. Hi, Scotty. Scott from Akron. If Kathy shows up at the reunion, I'll be shocked. And it will be one hell of a reunion if she shows up.
I agree.
All right. Scotty knows.
It's a tough one though, because if you're right, Dana, and she won't be asked back if she doesn't show up, her not showing up means her little, popularity contest and the rumors that she is trying to, like she asked for all that money and she obviously wants to rise up on Beverly Hills, not come back. I mean, not, be fired. So I don't know. Maybe she will come to the reunion. I didn't think she would in a million years, but that's because I thought she would still come back next season. But if you're telling me it's contingent, then she might show up.
She will if she wants to continue on the show.
That's what I mean. Like, I just can't see her not wanting to continue.
But she is Paris in Love. She's shooting that. The only way I only think she did Real Housewives of Beverly Hills to help with Paris in Love. Because I don't know how that show is structured, but I'd assume since Kathy's on almost every episode, she's actually financially vested in that one.
But that's not even close to the level of popularity, fame that the show is. It's not.
Well, just remember, it's not about the fame for Kathy. Kathy's got fame. It's about the money, right? Because Kathy already had, I think what she probably did is she wanted to restart Paris Hilton's new image, help her daughter's new image, especially after This Is Paris, because This Is Paris is the destruction of Kathy Hilton.
Right.
And she needed to come back from that and have a positive show. And that was Paris in Love. And I think she's financially getting something from that show. Then I think she used Beverly Hills to get that show off the ground. Now they're doing a season 2. So maybe she doesn't need it.
I don't think that she's that savvy then, because she does not look, I don't think that show showed her in a good light. Paris in Love. Beverly Hills does. But that show, I think it really showed a lot of her warts, I feel like.
It showed her to be a controlling mom. Yeah, but Carter's controlling.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I mean, what is happening in that family? Poor Kyle. Kyle. All right, let's see any other ones here. Let's see. Kathy has traditionally been wary of being associated with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Knows she's changing her tune when big things are developing with Paris. Yeah. That's true. Oh, how's Kim doing? Good question. I don't know how Kim's doing. I'd be dying to find out. Her book never came out. That's not a good sign. All right. Well, listen, you guys, we've had so much fun. Didn't we have fun?
Yeah, so much fun. Thank you for having me. We'll have to do more kikis and get together with our little, I love Beverly Hills when Beverly Hills is on. It's my favorite.
Oh, I forgot to say, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Tell your friends about this live. Buy a shirt. There's shirts and stuff in the description. The Patreon link, if you don't know what it is in the description. Follow Your Moms Are Watching. She tells great stories. Gossip. This is like an anomaly, right? Isn't it, Thea? This whole gossipy thing. You're more about like real, true Hollywood stories. You write books for celebrities and stuff. Like that's your bag. You're more sophisticated.
Right. This was just fell into my lap. I honestly never thought he'd get back to me. I didn't. I was not looking for tea. I was just trying to say, hey, don't lie to my friend. Hey, why did you do that? That's it. It just turned into a bigger thing. But no, I say I'm not a tea site, and I actually now am saying explicitly, I don't want to know. You got something to tell me? Don't tell me. Go to Bravo and Cocktails. Go to Dana Wilkie. Please don't tell me, because I don't think I handled this that well, and I didn't like the situation. It was icky. Basically it was icky. It was an icky situation for me. So I'm good staying out of that whole sector of
well, listen, I'll take any of your tea and I'll validate it.
Okay, you got it. I'm sending it to you. All right, well, bye, guys.
All right, bye.
Thank you guys for
Have a
listening
good
to
day,
us.
you guys. Enjoy your day, my
Bye,
loves.
Okay.
What? No love for me? Oh my God, honey, I love you. Of course I do.
I
so
love
glad
you too. I know
that.
exactly who you are, and I love you too.
She lives in the rainforest, and she's always supporting me, and she's so kind
I love
and
her
loving.
stories, and she actually sets me straight a lot, because I do have like harebrained, and she does give me DMs that are actually very helpful, instructive, and I love her too. So we're big fans of you.
Kendall and Wilbur, and there's so many, like, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right, well, listen, you guys. Mwah.
Bye, guys.
Thank you again, my sweetheart. And you don't have to always send money. I love you anyway. Bye.